Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome back to IXION Let's Play, where we've successfully navigated the storm and made it right in to episode 20. Folks, I cannot believe it's been 20 episodes of pure tension and madness in IXION. I've been having an absolute blast, and if you've been enjoying it as well, please don't hesitate to leave a like and a comment down below. It really helps me make decisions on the channel with regards to what people are interested in. Beyond that, if you've been really enjoying this series, folks, you might want to consider becoming a channel member or patron. Links to both of those are in the description down below as always, or you could click the join button just underneath the video. Separately, if you're not really interested in something like that and you still want to support the channel in another way, you might want to consider leaving a super thanks, clicking the little super thanks button, which is right next to the join button underneath the video. As always, there's no pressure or obligation or anything like that. That's why I try not to mention it too often. But if you would like to support the channel in another way, you can think of it like a Twitch subscription if you decide to become a channel member. There are some perks that come with it. Or something a bit more transient if you decide to drop a super thanks instead. Nonetheless, folks, with all that said and done, let's get back to business, where business involves escorting a missile back to our station and exploring more details about the strange gray sphere at P43. Honestly, I don't know which one I'm more tense about. Probably the missile. We already lost a science ship last session. I sincerely hope we don't lose another one right at the beginning of this one. So folks, why don't we go ahead and check out the destroyed docking bay first and see what's been going down before we move on to the planet and make some key decisions based on some excellent comments I saw in the comment section of the previous episode. So, to the destroyed docking bay, and hopefully not just a bunch of corpses. Please. Ooh, hello. Okay. Literally, my shoulders just like dropped in relaxation. I was so tense about clicking this button. We have managed to remove the missile from the bulkhead it pierced. We have stored it with all due caution in the hold of the Galileo for transport back to the Tiqqun. Man, the Galileo has been with us for so very long. If something were to happen to it on the way back, I would be so sad. And I'm concerned that the Tiqqun will take a hit from the missile while like experimenting with it or something. I'm concerned that some damage will be caused, but unless it's permanent damage, it can very quickly be taken care of, right? We have a decent repair mechanism in place, so I'm not too worried about that, which is why I wanted to bring it back as opposed to, experiment with it on board a science ship. Nonetheless, let's end the DLP there, and I suppose we leave the wreckage. Well, before we do that, let me just close this really quickly, because I just want to see what happens to the storm when we leave the wreckage over here. I will have to resume time. So I suppose we'll save that for a bit. Let's first take a look at P43 as well and see what's happened over here. This could be, this could be the bad click, but let's go for it. No other option, really. Oh, hey, what do you know? The concentric circles do not have a classical geological origin. A phenomenon unknown and external to the geological activity observed on P43 generated these strange formations. The circles are not perfect, but the distance between each layer is proportional to their diameters. Atomic analysis revealed the presence of particles characteristic of self-similar space. All right. I wonder if this is something that belongs to the Black Market Society. At first, I was thinking this is alien tech, and by at first, I mean a long time ago. But now I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's end the DLP here, and I just worry about getting too close to the sphere. Let's analyze the crystal formations first, and then we'll consider examining the sphere. I'm still not sure about that choice, to be honest. I'm still not sure about that choice, so we'll consider that later. But for now, yeah, analyze the crystal formations, and let's see what else we can glean. No, untrue, because we're going to collect the science first, just in case we do end up losing the ship with the next decision. Before we let time move forward and see what happens when we complete the event over here, I just want to get some work done in the Tiqqun interior, where things are, again, mostly relatively smooth sailing. We have some adjustments we want to make as far as, placing those new batteries that we've researched and that kind of stuff. Yes, as some of you have pointed out, we'll want to get rid of this infirmary now because we have, of course, the health center. The reason why I've kept the infirmary here as opposed to relying entirely on the health center was because we had the option then to shut the power down over here and free up 50 workers. I felt like that was a good call while we waited for all of our trains to get up and running. Didn't we complete the train station last session? Where are my lines? Where are my... Maybe when I resume, it'll come back. But nonetheless, that's why I kept both of them active, because the health center can be turned off at the drop of a hat, saving us a lot of power and workers should push come to shove. So maybe I'll leave it at that for the time being, because we're doing okay here right now, right? So why fix what isn't broken, really? Yeah, we'll leave that be. But what I actually came here to do, sorry folks, is to adjust our tech tree approach, again based on what many of you suggested in the comments of the previous episode. Yeah, since we're not rushing to another tier or anything like that to unlock new upgrades, maybe it's time to look back at some of these really early upgrade options that we ignored because, well, I mean, at the time they weren't the most urgent thing, but now we're at a loss for what to actually pursue. I was reminded that you're actually able to queue things up, so if I go ahead and queue some of the stuff up, we won't be constantly distracted or, you know, stockpiling science and slowing ourselves down, right? So why don't we go ahead and chase after what? Self-welding sounds like a good idea. Mining ships are more likely to endure dangerous weather conditions. Yes, we're past them here and now, but after seeing what the storm was like in this system, I'm worried that it's going to be, you know, a lot more expansive or worse or whatever it might be in the next system. I just want to be prepared for the worst, and this isn't a bad idea, I don't think so. Let's go ahead and research that next. So that's been queued up. Now, how many can I queue up? How limited am I? Like, it looks like I can only queue one thing up, but maybe not. Let's see if we can't get our cargo ships, it was pointed out, moving faster. 10% higher speed actually makes a very big difference, apparently, and maybe I'm underestimating just how much of a difference 10% actually makes. The other option here is, of course, to have us holding on to more at the same time, but to do that, we need to upgrade our docking bay. A docking bay upgrade is required to unlock this upgrade. Designed instruction. Where is our docking bay? It's up over here. Designed instruction. Sure, can be queued up next. I don't really care about the spaceship construction speed increase, but... okay, so we can only queue one thing up. That's too bad. Why don't we actually, stick with the self-welding mining ships as the next item, and then we'll take a look at designed instruction for our docking bay, and then we can take a look at having our ships, or our cargo ships, holding more resources, and then perhaps after that moving faster as well. And those two together, I think, will combine to become particularly efficient, which I think sounds good to me. We're almost done the advanced production line for the electronics factory, so we'll let that finish off before switching gears, and that'll allow us to produce electronics just that much more quickly, which we kind of need because we want to get the train stations rolling, right? Some of you pointed out as well that you do want to see the Hull Temple, the Exo Fighting Dome, etc., etc. Don't worry, we'll definitely be exploring those options. Last session's hesitance was mainly as a result of me not feeling the pressure anymore. But truth be told, at the end of the day, we're going to want however much stability as we can secure should push come to shove, and I'm very sure it will, right? Nonetheless, that's all our work over here done. Let's head on back to the planetary system map so that I can, complete our work over here at the destroyed docking bay, leave the wreckage. Wow. I deserved that. I deserved that, didn't I? That one hurts. That one hurts. That one really hurts. If it had just happened when I was here originally, it wouldn't hurt this much. This is a real kick in the nads, man. We have lost comms connection with the Galileo. Probe scan revealed that an explosion occurred in the vicinity of the docking bay wreckage. 5 crew members killed. Ship destroyed. Science ship Galileo. God damn it. And the data listening protocol. It's funny too, because I was thinking about it while we were looking at the tech tree. I really should have considered our option here under the science ship to get emergency cryopods. They might have survived if I got the emergency cryopods. But hey, what was I gonna do? Just stay there and wait for however long it took to unlock these before closing that chain off? I mean, yeah, that was obviously an option, but hey, it's not the option we took, and so now we find ourselves in need of yet another science ship. I cannot believe we lost the Galileo, and folks, our death count is now up, not to 17, but to 22. This just hasn't updated because time hasn't moved forward, but that is a real bummer. Man, that is a real bummer. All right, time for a new science ship. This one's called the Light Bulb. Okay, not as cool as Galileo or Calypso or even Francis, for that matter. Kind of cute, I suppose, you know, light bulb ideas, all that stuff. Man, all right, let's let time move forward and see what happens to the storm over here. I can't believe it. Hey, good stuff. That's not bad. It's actually freed up quite a few of these resource deposits for us. And, you know, if this trend keeps going, then pretty soon we'll be able to get our colonists back from P42 and pick up all of that science as well. Oh, man, it really hurts to have lost that science ship. I can't believe it. I should have seen it coming. Why did I celebrate too early, eh? Why did I celebrate too early? But just another example of why I should go back and research some of those early things that, you know, would help things move faster and would potentially keep people alive. Why don't we actually, yes, once self-welding mining ship upgrades are completed, let's chase after emergency cryopods. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and do emergency cryopods first and then continue these self-welding mining ships. I think that makes more sense because who knows what's going to happen with the sphere, and if we find even more dangerous things in the wreckage, I want to make sure we're prepared for it. I'm more concerned about what options or what opportunities we've now missed because we took such a lethal weapon and ultimately destroyed it, right? Like, what could we have done with that missile if we'd actually collected it? Nonetheless, it is what it is. Emergency cryopod science ship upgrade is going okay. We're still collecting science from P40, what is it? P43. We're done here now, so we can make our next decision. And I think we're safe enough to do that as, what's this cargo ship doing? Carrying silicon down to... Oh, right, of course, we're situated here. I was like, why are you going to the planet? It's not going to the planet, it's going to us. Anyway, let's go ahead and make our next decision, because it's not like we're, you know, at the end of an event chain. But yes, let's analyze the crystal formations, and hopefully by the time they're done that, we will in fact have our cryopods on our science ships ready to go. What a bummer, man. What an absolute bummer. Now, we no longer need to avoid this, so let's go ahead and turn that off. Make sure we are collecting silicon if that's the most viable place to get it from. And this is a case where, you know, having those faster cargo ships and stuff would make so much of a difference. But hey, it is what it is. Again, we can always seek out more silicon close to us. I'm sure there's some available nearby. Oh, look at that right there. Boom. Pop it there. There is silicon and ice. Let's go ahead and set you back to avoid so these guys kind of stay close, so that when we do find the silicon up over here, we'll be able to, you know, these guys will automatically go up there instead. And maybe if we return to P42, we'll chase after the silicon here, or leave that for the end game, so to speak, of this system. Back to the Tiqqun interior. Our science ship is almost done, and then we can send the light bulb out to replace the Galileo. It's such a bummer. It is such a bummer. Hey, at least electronics are being produced now. If we take a look over here, we are seeing progress. Yes, over here we are seeing progress as well. So that's great to see. Waste is flowing because we do have we do have waste being collected in this sector as well, right? So that's all well and good. And if we take a look at, oh, there we go. Our trains are here. Oh, but the lines are missing. Oh, that's really funky looking. I hope that's just a visual glitch. That's just a temporary visual glitch, rather, because I don't I don't like the floating trains. I see now what was supposed to be happening, but yeah, that looks really weird. Nonetheless, sorry, I digress. I should probably expand the train stations, right? Because if the hope is to spread the influence of the health center, then we need to get that going. And at that point in time, it'll start making sense to get the exo fighting dome and stuff as well. So, ooh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Are we able to upgrade you eventually to get a third train or something? I don't know, but hey, Sector 2, let's go ahead and get the train station built up over here. And that'll free up, a decent bit of room here, as we'll be able to get rid of both of these infirmaries, and I'm sure the one health center will be enough for the time being, though down the line, again, as I mentioned previously, we can build another one over here. Separately, is it time to consider the additional batteries, just so we can start preparing for the Piranesi? That might not be a terrible idea. There's also a lot of cryopods that still need picking up right off in the distance over here. They're still just out of reach, but maybe when we're done our next event, we'll be able to chase after them again. God, still so bummed about this situation over here, but nonetheless, let's send the light bulb over to the Habitation sector wreckage to see what's going on over there. We'll pick up some of the science and make some decisions with regards to research as well. We're currently working on the self-welding mining ships. Let's go ahead and queue up the designed instructions here, so that we can then, again, loop back to speed up our cargo ships. Mining ships can have their mining sped up as well, as, of course, we get an accident, I assume, at the tech lab. Why Why? Why you gotta be like that? Did anybody die? No. 28 crew members were injured. Are you for real? Wow. See, and I mean, the health center alone could have covered all of them, but I guess I am glad that both of these guys are active here right now, because otherwise we'd be in a touch of trouble. What actually is our state as far as infirmaries are concerned? Okay, normal. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure that I hadn't, you know, forgotten what I'd set that to. I mean, I had forgotten, but I'm glad I was set on the right thing. Nonetheless, to the system map, back to P43. Let's hope everyone survived. Come on, baby, please. All right, so far so good. Analysis reveals that these crystals were formed relatively recently, their growth accelerated by the sphere. The formations also contain elements we thought absent on P43. Sensors indicate that the team's suits and the Francis hull will soon be compromised by the planet's atmosphere. Repatriation should be initiated with urgency. All right, you know what? I'm going to do that. Let's end the data listening protocol over here. Let's go ahead and collect all the science, and then we'll leave the planet. We don't need to get close to the sphere. I'm already nervous about it, so with that extra warning on top of everything else, I'm good to leave P43 and head on out to investigate these additional wreckage sites and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine by me. We should also perhaps seek out additional points of interest. There's something else over here, I thought, right? Like, again, we can go from planet to planet and just see what there is to see. There's one right over here. Sure, why not? Send the probe out. We've got them coming. We've got plenty of polymers as well to make more, so let's go for it. And then maybe the science ship, rather than going up over here, spending all that time journeying there just to eventually have to double back, it can directly go down to here once the probe actually arrives. But with science collection here done, with us leaving the planet, will the storm push further, or is that only for these guys? I mean, it did push when we completed our work at P42, if memory serves me correctly, so logic would dictate that the same thing would happen when we're done at P43, in which case we should be able to start picking up these cryonic pods as well and bolstering our population even further. As we have arrived at the Habitation sector wreckage, let's go ahead and collect that science before we make any moves. And down over here, this probe still needs to go quite a bit of a way before we're done at P43. All right, let's leave that be. And separately, let's go ahead and deal with the homelessness in Sector 1. This is starting to become more and more of a problem as we move on. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at working conditions? Do we perhaps want more available in Sector 2 so that... we actually have quite a few at Sector 2. I'm wondering if we want to push more people to Sector 2 or Sector 3, not only because of working conditions, but also because if we take a look at the tech tree, there is the option of upgrading the Alternative Life Center to have perpetual motivation, which gives us +1 stability to a sector while it has more than 800 crew. So whoever we can get to 800 crew sooner would benefit from that, and then we might want to pursue this research to help with stability in a way that's already taking up the space it would take up, right? So I'm wondering if we send 300 non-workers to Sector 3, right? We'd still have to build what's it called? Housing for them. Because in Sector 3, if we take a look at population management, we have what? We have room for one more person. Okay, so we'd literally need 3 more demotic quarters. Do we have the electronics for that? That's the question. I want to make sure we have 1 left over to build the railway over here. And why don't we go ahead and prioritize this train station as well? Get these guys going, because we have enough alloys. Iron is really low, though, so let's go ahead and make sure we are mining some iron out. I did not notice the situation over there, which is extremely dangerous. Let's go ahead and prioritize with both the Roshmore and the Omnitron there, and then Aldana and Pelican can go chasing after it. Right now, they're not doing anything, which is rather wasteful, and I really should have stayed on top of that. That's entirely on me, obviously, as self-welding has been unlocked, and we are now moving on to the docking bay upgrade. I don't think I can queue up. Yeah, I can't, because it's technically not unlocked. That's fine. But we just have to remember to come back here when this tech is done being researched. Nonetheless, where was I? Right, so we've commissioned these guys to all be built up. They both need 1 electronics each now. What is in Sector 1, in Station 3? Where is all the... Oh, I see. We got 2 electronics over here. Perhaps unnecessarily so, because I'm pretty sure this has to be delivered on this side. So why don't we go to Resource Management, and Sector 3, you're chasing after 4 electronics. Why don't we get you chasing after 3 instead? Because eventually we will need 3 to build the 3 demotic quarters we need, right? And then over here in Sector 2, let's go ahead and aim for 3 as well. And Sector 1, let's get you aiming for 3, too. Sure, why not? That should be reasonable, I suppose. We are producing 1 more in a moment. over here, we're going to get another one as well. This is great. Waste has actually been moving a lot lately, so this is great. Food has been okay. Oh my goodness, we have so much food. We have so much food. We have so much waste, like the good kind of waste, I suppose. We got so much ice as well. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, this is great. This is very reassuring because that means when Santa's sleigh goes chasing after the cryonic pods, we can abandon ice for at least a little while since we have 100, almost 200 actually. Back to the system map on that note to take a look at P43 and actually leave the planet. We don't need to stay here anymore. Thank you very much. And watch as the storm pushes away. Excellent. So, Santa's sleigh, let's go chase after those cryonic pods. No more ice needed. Thank you very much. These guys are, yes, safe to pick up. We should be fine there. And we can actually go ahead and investigate P42 once more as well, though I think that'll wait until after we're done down over here. So, Francis, let's get you down to P37, please and thank you. And up over here, let's take a look at the Habitation sector wreckage. Floating cryopods. Alright, sounds promising. Summary of intelligence on Etamananki Habitation sector wreckage. Our sensors have identified a section of the Etamananki drifting in the CRUC system. That sounds nicer than Kruk, I think, right? Initial readings indicate that a large amount of floating debris is present in the area. We've also detected heat signatures, electromagnetic emissions, and a weak radio signal deep within the wreckage. We are currently unable to decrypt the signal. Interesting. This is the light bulb team. We've entered the Habitation sector wreckage. Many mutilated bodies and cryopods float in the void. We've been able to pinpoint the exact area of the unusual readings. While we have no other options but to recover the floating cryopods, the team will sort the intact cryopods from those that have been damaged and prepare them for retrieval via cargo ship. Sounds good. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Hopefully that's a decent number of cryonic pods, and hopefully our preparations right now to improve the housing situation are, timed well. I do wonder if we shouldn't prioritize pick up over here, just because it's further away, and who knows what'll happen if the storm indeed does circle back and start making its way back. I wonder if we should keep this prioritized so that even when we find cryonic pods over here, we're chasing after those ones first. A faster cargo ship that can pick up more is going to make a world of difference at this point in time. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're staying on top of that tech, right? I want to make sure we don't dally on that front, and it does look like the train stations are all being built up now, which is great to see, and that means I can with confidence now commission the construction of additional housing over here. The demotic quarters, we can get what, 1, 2, 3. If I do it sideways, would fit 1, 2, and then 3 would be down over here. I just wonder about the placement of this stockpile. Like, is there a better spot for it? Do I like how this is set up? Do I finally actually get rid of the infirmary? Because that is an option, obviously, right? We can do 1, 2, 3, and leave this spot for something else, perhaps. Maybe. Let's go ahead and build demotic quarters. It's kind of cool to have it like different, to have things change up a little bit, right? Monotony is such a drag. Can you imagine the monotony of space on top of the monotony of the interior? There's the line over here, but it doesn't go all the way. Very strange. Nonetheless, yes, let's go ahead and do this. Let's not waffle. 1, 2, cool. Let's go ahead and dismantle this infirmary. It's got a lot of people. I assume they'll be transferred over to the health center, right? So let's go ahead and... okay, if I turn you off, what happens? Building not powered, but they all get shifted over to here. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and dismantle you. Yes, please. And then we can replace this with another demotic quarters. And then separately, with the health center now up and running, and with the train stations now up and running, let me just check here. Hava... Berzilki? Berziki. Okay, cool. Hava Berziki. Let me just make sure there's nobody with that name over here already, just so that there's not like a redundancy or anything like that. All right, looks like we're good. Okay, cool. So if I do, in fact, switch you off and let time move forward a little bit, they're not there anymore. Oh, they might end up over here. They're not here. Okay, fair enough. Are they over here? Hava? No? But no warning. Oh no, they're over here. Okay, so let's turn you off as well. 0 crew members are injured in Sector 2. Hava, are you down here? Hava, where you at? Yes! Okay, cool. So the health center is up and running and operating across all of our sectors. This is great. So that means we're actually able to get rid of these infirmaries here as well. A little nerve-wracking, because if the health center goes down, we're in a lot of trouble, which is why I might want to set up a redundancy, right? No rush necessarily, but Just want to be prepared for that. And worst case scenario, Sector 3 should now be able to enact the piled up policy over here, taking that -1 to stability, but increasing capacity, not just for this sector, but for the entire station that has train stations by that 25%, right? Because they'll all be moving people to this health center. This is excellent. This is great. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and dismantle you and you. No need to keep these guys around. And I suppose the same thing applies over here. No need to keep you around either. Cool. Let's let's get rid of these infirmaries. Yeah, awesome. Oh man, feels like real progress. It feels like real progress. Let's go ahead and empty all the alloys out over here. We have plenty of room. I still wonder if this is my preferred spot, because this is where all the housing should go, you know? But where else would I put my alloy stockpile down? Up over here? Temporarily being used for cryonic pods, is that a necessity? I mean, it will be eventually, right? It will be eventually. And then we have 2 cargo ships here ready to pick up those cryonic pods. And I almost wonder if I shouldn't get a third one. Why do we have a missing ship? Did it used to be something else? Did it used to be a mining ship, or did I just leave it empty? I feel like I left it empty, and I feel like a cargo ship isn't a terrible idea, because this is also where the colonists come from, right? And that would allow us to move goods that much more quickly. For example, iron. Sure, you know what? Let's go ahead and build another cargo ship over here. The Vitakalai. Curious what that means. Is it not the name of any animal I know, or bird, or anything like that? Pelican? I'm curious. Because I've heard Aldana before. Do I recognize the word? Well, I recognize it. Do I know what it means? Nah. So now I'm curious about Aldana as well. Anyway, sorry, I digress, as I tend to. Let's let time move forward. Let's get these things built up. We've got the cargo ship coming as well. We can accelerate the gathering of cryonic pods. For the time being, the Aldana and Pelican are both chasing after iron, which is fine by me, because we definitely need it. And that iron is being stored where? You know what? Not anywhere over here, because we've gotten rid of our temporary iron storage. Do I change things up over here? Like, do I move, say, the cataphract or the omnitron over to that slot, right? And then get the cargo ship here instead, because it would be a bit more versatile, right? It would have more options, and that actually sounds reasonable to me. Let's go ahead and let's let this build up, and then we'll do the switching afterwards. Sure. That sounds good enough to me. Why is it saying that there are no active health buildings? I mean, I understand in theory why, but really not necessary. Really not necessary. Nonetheless, tech is something I'm falling behind on, so I should keep my eyes on that. What are we doing next? We're doing the cargo ship upgrade, right? External fastenings. Cargo ship can store 20% more resources. Or do we want to go after EKP optimization first? Let's go with external fastenings, and then we'll go ahead and chase after EKP optimization. I don't know if the order really makes sense. I guess in a way it does, because I want external fastenings to happen first, because if we arrive up over here... Damn it, we're already too late. I was just going to say that I would like to have that in place before we arrive up over here, so we can pick up those extra cryonic pods, but too late for that. It's okay, not the end of the world. Let's head on over to the Habitation sector wreckage to see what's going on in terms of cryonic pods over here. My goodness, a lot. A lot is going on. We have finished our evaluation of the cryopods. We were able to recover a large amount. They're ready for extraction. The recovery area is horrifying. The body parts that float here are mostly from civilians. The dwellings within the habitation sector look more like slums than real housing. The population density must have been extremely high. Some bodies show clear signs of disease and malnutrition. It's very obvious that the UN's approach was very haphazard and just all over the place. Now, to be fair, off the record, the UN was a lot more rushed than the Dolos corporation was, right? Dolos. They were, you know, they were dealing with the fact that Earth is imminently dying, like within a matter of years at most, maybe months instead, whereas our corporation had plenty of time to prepare and make sure we didn't end up with this horrible situation. So, to be fair, the UN was up against... well, a lot. Anyway, let's end the data listening protocol there, as well as our sympathy for the enemy, and let's push deeper into the structure to reach the source of the unusual readings. Using a drilling rig, the Lightbulbs team will push further into the residential ruins. Yeah, let's find out what's going on over here. Very, very curious. And down over here as well at P.37, what have we got? Readings from P.37 are unusual. The planet has a high level of radioactivity, and its diameter and position in the CRUC system seem to contradict theoretical models. Topographical analysis of its surface revealed the presence of a huge crater. We have landed on P-37 in the crater we have named Desolation. The ground here seems to be made of a glass-like substance, possibly obsidian, and the crater's rim is razor-sharp. Telluric formations within the crater resemble waves frozen in time. We think we can pull some interesting data from sediment analysis, or we could try to discover what impacted here. Well, this is curious. We could establish infrastructure to support advanced analysis. I think that makes sense. We could analyze the impact area first, just to make sure it's safe before we establish infrastructure. You know, I think it's... Oh boy. Decisions. What makes more sense? Analyze the area first, or establish the infrastructure first? Because do you really want to establish infrastructure on uncertain ground, right? Let's analyze the impact area first, and then we'll establish infrastructure to support advanced analysis. Sure. I hope that's not the wrong call there, but it's hard to tell these days. Very hard to tell these days. All right, time is moving forward back to the interior over here. I think we can speed time up, actually. Just want to make sure we stay on top of the cargo ship over here, which is actually taking a fair bit of time to make because we are not storing alloys over here. Oh, okay, fair enough. In that case, why don't we go ahead and actually cancel this construction here. Move our cataphract. Sure, because the Onatron right now is being maintained. So let's get the cataphract unassigned and reassigned over to here. Cool. Again, it's just a mining ship, so it's fine. And over here, we'll go ahead and build a cargo ship with the name Drakkar. Now, that's a word I recognize. All right, cool. It's unfortunate we had to lose the previous one's name assignment, but hey, it is what it is. Rather than setting up a new zone for alloy storage, I think this just makes more sense, right? Wait, are we not? We are storing alloys over here. Of course we are. This is our industrial district. Cool. Good stuff, good stuff. We are low on iron still. That's okay. Worst case scenario, we can pursue alloy production at the waste treatment center, though I would very much like to, yes, collect more iron. We have plenty of it available over here, so it's not like I have to go searching for it. Actually, I should check. We have, 33, 112, 118. Okay, that's not plenty. That's far from plenty. Let's go ahead and seek out more. Oh, beautiful. What are the chances? Cool, let's do that. And I'm sure there's plenty of iron up over here as well. Yes, no longer need to avoid you. Let's make sure you're not prioritized either, though, right? Let's go ahead and say no longer need to avoid you either. Same thing goes up over here. Wow, really? You're going to go all the way up over there? As opposed to over here? I guess this has all been mined out. Damn, I should have sent that probe to seek out... silicon instead. Let's see how long it takes to build our next one. We have no alloys here, right? It'll take a long time. Okay, let's flip this to alloy storage. After all, I suppose. And I might need to rejig our setup over here. We'll see. Light bulb has completed its actions. Let's head on back out then and take a look at the situation at, the Habitation sector wreckage. Making progress through the metal debris that lies everywhere has been difficult. The Etmananki has been constructed from a range of extremely strong alloys. We have come to an area of fallen debris which forms a precarious cave around us. 2 paths onward are possible. We could pass through a large section of pipe that has been laser cut. Temperature analysis of the cuts indicate they happened some time ago. Alternatively, there's a reinforced tunnel leading away from here. Its sides are covered in bullet holes. We could continue to use the drilling rig. One of these paths will surely save us time. I mean, it feels as though the laser cut path probably makes more sense because it was done by somebody in a more maybe methodical or organized or planned fashion. That makes the most sense to me. Or we could just proceed through the reinforced tunnel. I feel like it's going to collapse in on us. I mean, it's reinforced, but if we're pushing through said reinforcements, what's going to happen? Let's proceed through the laser cut piping that has been here for some time and should be a lot safer as a result. Oh, wait, hold on. What? Continue drilling or proceed through the reinforced tunnels. I didn't realize those were 2 separate things. So the reinforced tunnel is the one with the bullet holes. Oh, come on, game. Why you gotta do this to me? Why you gotta do this to me? The laser cut hole is a perfect circle. Like, this was very methodical, right? This was very methodical, and it was done some time ago, so should be fine. Who knows what's on the other side of a bullet hole riddled reinforced tunnel? What if there's a claymore equivalent or something, right? Let's proceed through the laser cut piping, though truth be told, that claymore could be behind this hole as well. I don't know, folks. I'm extremely nervous about all the decisions we're making right now. This is, oh my goodness, it's too much. It's too much. Analysis of the crater's center has revealed the presence of gluons and high levels of radiation. Elementary particle samples match those our team found on parts of the Etamananki wreckage. Additionally, our sensors have detected an object 20 meters or so below the surface. It is emitting unusual and unintelligible signals on several different frequencies. All right, and the DLP there. Let's go ahead and pick up that 20 science and then proceed with establishing our base of operations. That's going to take some alloys, so hopefully we'll be able to collect some iron and resume our comfortable production of alloys. I'm not worried per se, but I'm not super happy about this 0 here either. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Look at this mining ship, by the way. This one's leveled up. I don't know how much, but this one's leveled up, and my goodness, is it not gorgeous? Is it not gorgeous? As external fastenings have been unlocked, and we are now researching the EKP optimization for the cargo ships as well. Cool. Cool. Do we want to improve our own speed too? Sure, why not? Why not queue that up as the next upgrade? And then we can look back at the cargo ship to maybe get a... cargo logistics is... Yeah, let's go ahead and get you picking up even more, I suppose. And then perhaps even more. Though we'll need post-lunaclism cargo ship before we can do internal components miniaturization. And we'll do that because it'll move faster. Yeah, let's make these cargo ships more efficient. I mean, as we're moving these massive distances, I do think it makes sense to consider our priorities. So Drakkar, let's get you pulling in iron, and the Aldana and the Pelican should perhaps also start pulling in these cryonic pods. It might not be a terrible idea. Let's reprioritize some of our mining ships. Ice is looking okay. Yes, it is. There's plenty more to collect as well. So let's get you focusing on iron as well. And let's get the Rushmore focusing only on silicon, just so we can stay on top of electronics production as well. That sounds good to me. And do we, in Sector 3... No, we no longer have a space for cryonic pods. Should we? Probably. Just so we can, again, further accelerate the acquisition of those cryonic pods, right? Otherwise we'll be here forever, I feel like. I hate just putting stuff down for the sake of putting stuff down. We're not about to build more demotic quarters over here. Actually, we are. We're about to build one more, right? Over here in the space that we made. Let's pop you down. I mean, either way we put it down, it's going to be a horrible mess, and I absolutely despise it. But let's pop you down over here to be consistent, I suppose. Right? Did I have other plans over here? I think I wanted to put a monument down over here, didn't I? Potentially. Stability. They're all the same size. A monument would fit over here, but we would have to destroy both of these guys. I know I had some plans over here that I've now, like, undone. Not the end of the world, but on that note, sure. Demotic quarters down over here, as our usual positioning dictates. Sure. Now, why are we not getting electronics over here? Is it because we don't have enough over here? Probably, right? What's the situation? Electronics, we have 3, but 3 is what we're trying to maintain in Sector 2. Correct. Let's go ahead and drop you down to 2. And let's see if we can't get this set of demotic quarters built. And once that's done, we'll go ahead and manage our population. Again, homelessness is still not causing any trouble in Sector 1, I believe. Right? We're at 4 stability. My goodness. That's fantastic. The train station is giving us +1. I didn't realize the train station gives a boost to stability. Well, that's awesome. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see what I mean? I feel like we're perfectly fine as far as stability is concerned. All right, cool. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Habitation sector wreckage first, and then we'll take a look at the planet afterwards. I read the word death, and immediately I was like, what happened now? But no, not so bad. Agents of death. We have reached the area of the readings. We exited the pipe and found a small shelter cobbled together from surrounding debris. Within it, a number of broken drones, shaped like deep-sea creatures, float in the lack of gravity. They bear the BMS logo of the Black Market Society. This is the first time we have seen machines like these. We have transmitted schematics and data and propose further analysis of the drones be conducted back on board the Tiqqun. Within a small recess at the back of the shelter, we found the corpse of an Etamananki soldier with a now spent breathing device. They had tried to modify one of the broken drones to produce an improvised heat source. He has been dead for several days. The weak radio signal was transmitting from their suit's emergency beacon. we presume in an attempt to contact other survivors. Hang on a second. For several days? We're talking about a time span of days here? I was expecting months. Maybe even like a year or two when it said the laser cutting was, it's been here for some time. Wow, this attack happened a lot more recently than I'd anticipated. Nonetheless, let's end the data listening protocol over here. Let's pick up all those science points, and let's check out this Agents of Death event as well, as I suppose we leave the ruins of the Etamananki. No, just in case, let's pick up the science first, in case the ship blows up on its way out, and we'll see what the situation is. Let's go ahead and send a probe out before we take a look at the event on board the Tiqqun, and let's try and find some more silicon somewhere nearby. Surely there's some available here. Okay, cool. There's some available right here, literally. As I was saying here. Ice, more silicon. Nothing closer to us, eh? Nothing all that much closer. The faster cargo ships and the larger cargo capacity is actually going to make a very big difference. So, top-notch suggestion over there, coming in right at the right time as well as the pressure for it becomes all that much more real. There's a lot of silicon up over here and some iron as well. It's just so far away. It's just so far away. What about over here first? Let's start with over here, because it's at least a little bit closer, and then we'll go ahead and explore up over there. Look at this. All these mining or cargo ships now heading up to the iron over here. This hasn't been prioritized, but I guess it makes more sense to go up there than down over here where there is some iron to collect. It's gonna take so long. It's gonna take so long. I don't know why they're doing that, but as we pick up more science, at least they'll start moving a little bit faster, right? Okay, cool. I'm pleased with the direction of our technological upgrades. I'm pleased with the health center being up and running. I'm less pleased about the notification down over here because that's going to keep giving me a heart attack, but we'll be fine. We are collecting... How many cryonic pods? There's like 700 out there, so there's still quite a few more to be found. So we just gotta, again, prepare for all that. Again, food is going to be fine, right? We're still at 300% production versus requirement, so food is going to be just fine. I do want to keep an eye out for housing, though. Again, we have another sector we need to open shortly, and we'll do that shortly, as I just said. Shortly, once again. Let's get the cargo ships moving a bit faster, shall we? Yeah, let's queue that up. And then cargo logistics is happening right now with internal components miniaturization available after post-lunaclism cargo ship is done. Okay, yeah, cool. This is great. This is great. And we might need to, move past the cargo ship after some of these upgrades. But that's a conversation for later. Hang on a second. Did I miss? No, I did not. But am I about to find something now? Administrator, we now have enough data to analyze the Piranesi's drones. The associated research project can be launched in the tech lab. With this, we should be able to install devices that reduce the impact of the Piranesi's drones on the Tiqqun. Alright, fair enough. Drone threat analysis upgrade unlocked for the Piranesi. Cool, so if we want to keep preparing for that instead, we'd want to go after this. Alright, let's do these two upgrades for the cargo ship, and then we'll move after the drone threat analysis. I think that's the right call. That way at least we're collecting goods a lot more quickly while we're progressing with regards to preparations. I wonder if I shouldn't turn off one of these EVA airlocks. If we do so, we take, oh my goodness, a lot of damage per cycle. That's no joke, eh? That's no joke. Alright, let's go ahead and keep you on then, but I do wonder if we shouldn't build another solar panel perhaps while we have the wiggle room and while we have, near max hull integrity, rather than later on, after another vol jump, for example, where shutting down all of our EVA airlocks is going to spell doom pretty much. So let's go ahead and head out to external construction, and let's go ahead and pursue, 5 electronics, eh? Oh man, that's a lot. That is a lot, but sure, let's go for it. I think it's necessary. 250 polymers as well. We're maxed out on carbon. Let's at least get some movement over here. Sure, get that happening. I think it's the right call because, like I said, the next vol jump will take this to an additional negative 20. So that's negative 80. So that's going to be negative 100 hull depletion per cycle, which would take us to what? With 600 maximum hull integrity, negative 100 per cycle means 5 cycles is all the time we would have. Now, solar panels don't take that long to build, so we should still be fine. But it's not a risk I'm really willing to take, especially as we open up more sectors as well, right? Because that'll get worse and worse too. So it's not going to be negative 100, it's going to be closer to negative 120. And yeah, not a fan of that. You know, at that point, it's 5 cycles as opposed to 6 cycles a time. Okay, so yes, I think building solar panels sooner rather than later is the right call. Though, of course, to that end, we have to make sure we are producing enough electronics to get the job done. And it's just moving so slowly. I mean, fortunately, we are picking up more silicon. I wonder about tech. Maybe next, right? Because we have done some work with the waste treatment center. You know what, actually, we have upgraded our electronics factory as well. Because it's 20 to 1 now as opposed to 30 to 1. So how much more can we really do on that front? I don't think much. But as the demonic quarters over here are being built, why don't we go ahead and deal with population management? Move 300 non-workers from Sector 1 to Sector 3, right? Get that up to 800. Keep Sector 1 at 900 plus. So they're both at, 800. So that our stability tech, if we decide to chase after it, will be viable right away. I mean, we don't need it right now based on some of the numbers we were seeing earlier, but if we decide to pull the trigger, it just maximizes the benefits, right? So sure, start this migration, and we should also consider the worker count needed here. Oh, we're perfectly fine. My goodness. In fact, if I send more workers to Sector 2, we could even improve stability using our policies, right? Like relaxed working conditions or whatever it's called. Nonetheless, we've had another accident. I just want to make sure these are all... okay, Sector 3. Yeah, you're fine. Like, they're not ones that I have to go in and adjust myself. But look at that. I mean, my goodness. We can't afford this kind of stuff. Fortunately, we have another one we can turn on if circumstances were more dire. But, yeah, just kind of scary to think about. I forgot to check in on P.37, by the way. My apologies. Let's head on in now. Right. Wait. What? Did we... wait. Did I... Hang on. Am I not able to establish a thing anymore? Or did I already? I don't recall setting one up. And the numbers up over here don't make it seem like we sent over 50 alloys or whatever. So I suppose the first order of business is to always establish the infrastructure. Lesson learned. All right. Bit of a bummer. Do we authorize invasive recovery and analysis of the object? Strategically placed explosive charges will create a route down to the object and allow the Francis team to extract it for analysis as quickly as possible. That makes me so nervous. Set up a drilling rig. They'll deploy a drilling rig to facilitate recovery of the unknown object or excavate the object manually, applying the highest level of Dalos safety and security protocols during excavation, categorizing this object of unknown origin as a maximum level threat. I mean, it sounds like this thing probably is extremely radioactive. Now, these guys should be in their exoskeletons, so they should be relatively protected from it, so hopefully they'll be okay if we try to excavate the object manually. Starting to take more and more risks over here, and I don't know why. I suppose, as I always say, what is life without risks? And the answer is typically longer. Excavate the object manually, please and thank you. A little nervous about that. Up over here, meanwhile, what's going on at the Habitation sector wreckage? Nothing. We can leave the ruins of the Etamananki, and if we scroll on out...
has passed through the CRUC system, and the Tiqqun is still online. Congratulations, Administrator.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you very much, Eden. We made it. We made it, and that implication there is that... The storm is done. It's not going to circle back. That's what it sounds like, at least. So I wish there was a more like smooth way to unavoid everything, but I don't think there is. I have to go one by one and change our settings, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad to see the storm done. Let's make sure you're not set as high priority because we don't need to come all the way up over here. And you know what? In fact, the storm is kind of still active over there. So thanks, game. Thanks. They are still moving up over there. Let's go ahead and get you avoided, and let's go ahead and. Mine out some more iron up over here. I suppose there's still some to pick up over here. Okay, fair enough. Like, they still have work they can be doing. They still have work they can be doing. They just insist on not focusing all their efforts. I suppose there's only a little bit of iron left over here. Okay. 76. Yeah, we can send more cargo ships over here. Okay, fair enough. Where are our probes? Nowhere to be found. Lots of stuff to be picked up over here. Let's go ahead and send another probe out then. What are we looking for? Right, there was another big deposit somewhere up over here. Oh, that's real juicy. Okay, well, there is a planet up over here, so we can go ahead and station ourselves up there, and that'll allow us to bring iron and silicon from this location. So why don't we go ahead and prepare for that move, I think, because then we can also send a science ship up to P42 and get cargo ships to bring those colonists back as well. So lots of good stuff to be done by moving up over there. As down over here, the light bulb is also now able to move on to the medical district wreckage. We'll stay around these parts until maybe the iron has been completely depleted, and then we'll make our move. That sounds reasonable to me, I think. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Cool. That sounds good. That sounds good. Let's go ahead back into the interior. We can speed time up a little bit because things are feeling pretty comfortable right now. Do we need to make sure more food is available here? I guess technically, right? Sector 3 should be storing at least 80 food. Not that it's been causing any trouble for the last however long, but want to go ahead and make sure that things are okay as cargo logistics has been unlocked. All right, what comes next? Well, I suppose it makes sense to go ahead and chase after the drone threat analysis. Let's get that done sooner rather than later, right? Just in case. And then we can come back to the cargo ship upgrades. Or now I'm wondering if we maybe focus on the mining ships a little bit just to make sure they're actually drilling faster, right? And not just faster, but actually more from any given deposit. That's actually not a bad idea. Sure, we'll do the drone threat analysis after the post-lunaclism cargo ship. And then we'll chase after endoscopic drilling. That sounds like a reasonable plan to me. Move time forward over here and see what else we can do on the system map. Well, in a moment's time, we'll be able to investigate this, while up over here, we're now able to investigate the medical district wreckage. I expect cryonic pods to be coming in from over here. And actually, on that note, what's the situation up over here? Still 337 to collect, and down over here, we have 795. We really need to accelerate the process. Let me head on back to Sector 3 over here. Are we getting cryonic pods here? No, we're not. We have 2 cargo ships here, right? The Eldana and Pelican. They're currently bringing in, sorry, not the screen I wanted, bringing in iron. Do we still need iron at that rate? Kind of. Well, actually, we're doing okay. Alloys are keeping up, but we don't have a spot for cryonic pods. Why don't we go ahead and make you temporarily the bastion of the cryonic pod, and that way we can get the Eldana and Pelican chasing after cryonic pods as well, and only cryonic pods. And hopefully they'll be able to empty out the distant one quickly, though perhaps, given my new plans, maybe I should prioritize this one, right? My new plans being moving up to here, wherever that planet was, so that we can move the colonists back in and pick up all the resources available here, right? While these cryonic pods are closer to us right now, we should probably focus on them. Yeah, sure, that sounds good to me. You are also a priority. All right, well, we're halfway there, so let's keep an eye on this round, and once these cargo ships start making their way back, we should deprioritize, I think, these cryonic pods. I'm glad they seem to all be okay after having passed through the storm, or after the storm has passed through them, and it looks like the same thing's true for our colonists on P42 as well. So that's all well and good. Let's go ahead and launch an additional probe over here and seek out what. Let's see what's available in our new, or in and around our new destination. Perhaps we should chase after the point of interest here that I assume is a planet considering its location, and my goodness, it takes the probes a very, very long time to get up here, doesn't it? Now, there are upgrades to probes that allow them to move faster as well, but I'm not going to chase after those. I don't think that's extremely necessary, but just wanted to make sure we set these plans in motion sooner rather than later as we head on to the medical district wreckage. Preliminary analysis suggests that this section of the Etamanaki wreckage contains the remains of a medical care district. Transmission from the Lightbulb's team. We have arrived at the site. We estimate that 2/3 of the district is missing. Remnants of cooling pipes have generated a haze that hangs about the debris and hides the floating corpses of the Etamanaki crew. We have identified 2 viable areas for investigation: the ruins of a research facility and an area devoted to medical care. We could investigate the research facility first, try and find resources and data, collect as much science as we can, and then we can take a look at the medical district and learn more about their treatment practices on board the Etamanaki. Sounds good. Investigate the research facility. I'm not too curious about their treatment practices. I've learned enough about their practices to know that I would like to adopt as few of them as possible. They've been horrendous. So yes, investigate the research facility first. Thank you very much. As down over here, we take a look at the fruits of our labor. Please, dear God, let them live. Oh.
A new request awaits your attention.
Hello. We managed to extract the object we have named Freeman. It is a badly damaged artificial and cylindrical construct made of an unknown alloy. It measures about 10 meters in diameter and 3 meters in length. It possesses a guidance and propulsion system and bears the letters BMS on its casing, the acronym of the Black Market Society. The object contained a nuclear charge that we carefully deactivated. We have transmitted mission data back to the Tiqqun. Wow, this is a big find. Now, you know what's really funny is, if we were like rushing through the system, though I don't know why you would do that, but if we were rushing through the system, it's very possible we would have missed out on all these things. And I imagine that would make the end game a lot harder. Nonetheless, 40 science ready for extraction, and we have the Piranesi's main weapon as a new event. Why don't we go ahead and now... Okay, interesting. So it was just a minor distraction. We can now establish infrastructure to support advanced analysis. Well, first, let's go ahead and pick up all that science, and then we can establish the infrastructure. But back on the Tiqqun, if we take a look at Sector 3, our tech lab has another event tied to, of course, the new technology, right? Further analysis of the Freeman object found on EP.20 has been completed. Freeman was used to guide a massive gluon beam fired from the Piranesi. It's clear that using a weapon of this magnitude greatly damaged the Piranesi. Ooh. Any other structure attempting to use this type of weaponry would be instantly destroyed upon its firing. Our team has come to the conclusion that the Piranesi must be recovering somewhere after such a burst of power. Well, that's promising. That's definitely reassuring. Acknowledged. All right, good stuff. And we've got a random dump of science. Thank you for that. Excellent. That should allow us to complete our work over here and do a little bit for the drone threat analysis as well. I was expecting additional tech to be researched, but I was mistaken. Instead, we've just learned more about the mission at hand. Sounds good to me. All right, we got cryonic pods hopefully coming through over here. Alloys, or rather polymers, are not coming through. What's the deal with that? I'm sure they're on their way over because it already says 5... Oh, weird. I'm sure they're on their way over nonetheless because it's not like we were failing to produce probes, right? So it'll just be a matter of time, I'm sure. We have 20 up over here. This thing is producing at an okay rate, maybe not as fast as I would like. Sorry, not science, but electronics are looking okay. Alloys are keeping up. So despite the iron warnings over here, I guess we're bringing enough in quickly enough as research here has been completed. So let's go ahead and chase after, the mining ship upgrades perhaps? God, these cargo ships can really move a lot faster and carry a lot more at any given time, right? Mining ships, let's go ahead and get endoscopic drilling queued up next. I think that's the right call. And adaptive extraction protocols isn't a bad idea either. See, I don't want to get too bogged down. I feel like now I've been too distracted by our ships, you know, and maybe I'm leaving some other more important things at bay. So that's something to consider as well, and something to be worried about as well, perhaps. Another scan completed. Good stuff. Again, that's just us preparing for what's to come next, and I think we're actually able to speed time up a little bit. None of our sectors have enough batteries, but that's okay because we can switch stuff off over here and we'll be fine. Polymers are coming through very slowly, but they are coming through. Up over here, batteries are extremely low up over here. And if I were to build the large battery, I wouldn't be able to. But the small battery I'd be able to fit. Not the small, but the medium battery I'd be able to fit, though that does take electronics, which I'm not looking to waste right now. Though, truth be told, is it a waste? I suppose we could get that established. It really is a bummer that we can't, like, fit it up over here or anything. Why does the game have to be like this? Why does it have to be like this? I was wondering if we, like, get rid of the road over here and still fit this over here, but then it becomes a lot harder to deliver, iron over here. I mean, I guess we'd still have a bit of a road connection, but maybe I should leave this for housing instead. I don't know. But for the time being, sure, let's get this built over here. Let's get this road down over here, and we'll get the regular size batteries over here, right? And again, just this like horrendous mess of road pathways will be left behind. But I suppose it is what it is. Not in a rush per se. Just trying to make some progress towards this objective at the same time as everything else, because you know, what else are we doing? Yeah, I can set up the fourth sector, but I'm just not feeling the pressure or the rush to do so. We'll leave that as one of the last things we do while building up batteries for that fourth sector as well, so that we can move on as soon as we check those boxes pretty much. Unless, of course, there's more behind, or rather after all this stuff, which is very likely, actually. Alright, so in that case, do we want to reposition our alternative life center over here while stability is so high? Probably a good call, right? Because here is where I was thinking of building the large battery for this sector. Let's take a look at the size again. So yeah, we'd pop it down over here. That sounds good to me. It'll have access to the other sector. Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and put the roads down like this, just so I have a marker. And we'd get rid of this road over here. Alternatively, we butt it up against the housing and then let this road go through. No, because then we'll block off access to the other sector down over here. Okay, cool. So that's figured out, but where does the alternative life center actually end up? Well, we can't, you can't build multiple, so we have to just base it off of our measurements here. Alternative life center, where you at? 5 by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. God damn it. Not big enough. Okay, 5 by 6 would probably fit here, right? 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would fit here. We wouldn't have room for anything else down over here, but hey, at least it would fit here. I mean, I didn't need to measure that. I should have been able to tell. It's right there. So that's an option, and then the battery can actually fit over here as intended. I don't mind that, actually, and that'll take us one step closer to our goal over here, and worst case scenario, we can shut some stuff down temporarily to take us past our goal, though, to be fair, it's probably a good idea to not have to rely on shutting things down, right? By the way, separately, I should just take a quick peek over here and see. Yeah, we're still waiting for quite a few alloys and quite a few electronics as well. I do want to get these solar panels completed, because the more I've been thinking about it, the more convinced I am that if we try and build additional solar panels after our next vol jump, we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot, right? We're not going to be in a good position after we open up an additional sector, let alone do another vol jump, right? Opening another sector will put us into a -1 balance per cycle. And to be fair, we'll be balancing that out as soon as EVA airlock efficiency goes back up. But when we're building, let's say, solar panels after doing another vol jump and opening another sector, EVA airlock efficiency doesn't matter, because they're all shut down during construction, right? And while sure, it doesn't take 5 or 6 cycles to get them done, it takes long enough. And now I wonder, actually, if we have enough time to, after researching the endoscopic drilling upgrade, if we can't chase after some solar panel upgrades to reduce the polymer cost and increase their productivity as well. That's probably not a bad idea, actually, since, why drain resources when we don't have to? Can we reduce the electronics cost over here? Seems as though we can't. All right, fair enough. We'll chase after photosensitive lamination just to reduce polymer cost, and we'll see where that takes us and where some of these events at P37 and the medical district wreckage take us as well next time, folks. This is where we're calling it a session. It seems as though the storm has passed quite literally, and I'm feeling a lot better about this section, as most things are pretty stable. It's just a matter of keeping that momentum going and preparing for our jump to the next sector, right? Chasing after the Piranesi. I believe we can chase after that. I assume that's the plan. There's not much else happening here, unless the Piranesi's coming here. I don't know. We'll see. A couple of objectives lined up. Lots of events to still explore. Very excited to see what's coming next, folks. But again, as I was saying, that'll have to happen next time. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a very big difference in just letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel. And again, if you've been really enjoying the series, you again might want to consider becoming a channel member or patron, or perhaps leaving a super thanks with the button right underneath the video. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.